Hello guys, hello, my name is Yelena, welcome back to my channel. And today we're gonna make a mango cake. It is summertime and it's so hot outside and all you want just something light and sweet and refreshing. And this is the perfect cake for that, and it's very easy to make. Alright, so here I have my eggs, just to whip it a little bit in the mixer, just to break it up. Not much. And here's I have my sugar. So slowly pour the sugar to the eggs. See, just like that. And let's whip it until nice and fluffy. See, just like that. So this is what you should end up with. So once you see this, I'm gonna add my dry ingredients. I have all-purpose flour and a little baking powder. So go ahead, just put it all in. And we're gonna mix it just until all incorporated, and then I'll put it on a little higher speed, just literally for a few seconds and no more. You don't need to overmix it. All right, just like that. And that's it. See, the cake batter comes out very thick ribbons. Looks very nice and frothy. So that's what it should look like. And I'll just go ahead and make sure scrape the bottom so no chunks of flour stays on the bottom of the bowl. So it looks good. All right. And I already prepared my pan, so I have two 9-inch round pan here, and I just sprayed it with cooking spray. And go ahead and spread your batter in two pans, just like that. And we're gonna send it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes, or until cakes come out looking like this. So it should be nice and brown and spongy to the touch, or you can try a toothpick method and let it cool. And meanwhile, let's gonna do icing. So here's my cream cheese, butter, powdered sugar, all in one bowl. And I'm gonna add a splash of vanilla. I'm using clear vanilla so icing stays white. And let's whip it until light and fluffy, looking like this. See, that looks very nice. All right, so I'll show you again how the icing texture looks. Very nice, fluffy, and it's not too sweet, which I like. And again, while our cake is cooling, we're gonna cut some mango. So I'm gonna use about 3 mangoes. We're gonna cut them in little pieces, and you can cut it any way that you like. I cut 2 halves, then I try to peel around the pit. Try to cut off of it as much as possible. Make sure your mangoes are nice and sweet and ripe. So just like that. And for the halves, I just leave them in skin and I just score them on the inside. Kind of like when you do with avocado, and then I try to take those little squares out of it. I find that's easier than you try to peel it. So then kind of help yourself with the knife and try to cut it off. And when the mango is ripe, it's very easy. See, just like that. So for the good size of the mangoes, you will need at least 3, maybe 4 if you want more for the filling. And if mangoes not too sweet, you can add a little sugar to it, but I decided not to add any sugar, so I'll just puree them in a, you can do food processor, or I have here a little handheld processor. Just make sure it's nice and even texture. Just like that. See, it looks nice and smooth. And again, you can add sugar to your taste, but I skipped that. I felt like it was enough. All right, so take this out, put on the sink to rinse. And now let's start assembling our cake. So I'm gonna take my big knife and I'm gonna slice each cake layer in half. Just be careful, hold your hand so you don't cut your fingers. And again, this is 9-inch cake. You can do 8-inch cake, that will work as well. But if you want a bigger, then you'll have to double the recipe because I feel like it will be too thin. Okay, and here I have my board. So I'm gonna put one layer down. I'll take your icing, put some on top. I'm gonna spread it out. And this is icing, so for my cake it was plenty to fill the cake and ice it on outside. So don't be too skimpy for the filling, just put a good layer to it. All right, and as I'm smoothing icing for the middle, see I'm leaving the edges a little higher. That's for, it will hold my filling inside. So I'm gonna use about half of the cup of the mango puree per layer. All right, so that looks about right. And spread it out again, just like so. There's a little skin of the mango, no big deal. Okay, and put the next layer of the cake on top, just like that. And continue with the same steps, so more icing. Again, I'm leaving the outside edge a little higher so our mango puree doesn't run away from the cake. Again, puree on top. Another piece of skin. It happens, it's all right. Okay, next layer of cake. Again, puree. Okay, and the last cake layer. Put on top. And now let's go ahead, ice the whole cake. Make sure it's all even. The icing is kind of on the soft side, so more like a frosting to me. So just try to do your best job. It's more of a, not for the looks, but more for the taste. It's very nice taste. This cake is not too sweet. And of course, I didn't add sugar to my mangoes either, so that's also not sweet, not too sweet. And it's just perfect. All right, so just go ahead and ice it. And try to use up as much of the icing as you can and leave a little bit for the, I'm gonna put the top border, kind of make it a little pretty. All right, and here's I have my bag, and here's a Wilton tip 1M, or you can use any tip you like. Star tip works great. Okay, and I'm gonna put the rest of my icing. And again, you don't have to do this if you want to just cake for your family at home, but just a little something. Okay, so I'm gonna use reverse shell border for the top part. Okay. And I'm gonna pour the rest of my puree on top of the cake. Just like that. You can also use more of mango and cut it in little pieces and arrange slices over the top or on top of puree, even add more mango to it. So it's all completely up to you. I'm just gonna stop here, just make it nice and simple, just like that. And whichever icing was left, I just put more on the side of the cake, kind of piled it up and smoothed it over. So here's the cake, and I'm gonna put it in the fridge. All right, and here's the cake. It's been in the fridge for about 4 to 5 hours, and we're just gonna cut it in. I can't wait any longer, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like inside. Isn't that pretty? It turned out perfect, and it tasted even more, just a little spoiler alert, it tasted even on the second day when all the flavors kind of combined more together. The cake was very moist. Let me show you how nice and soft. Look at that. And the mango and the cream cheese, very tender. That tastes divine. If you love mango, guys, you have to try this cake. Look at that. And this is just basically just from after the baking. All right, well, thank you guys for watching my videos. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to give me a like, put me thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Love you so much.